water. Water's overrated. Just kidding. Water's actually really good. Water's probably the best. Water's gotta be one of the best drinks, no? I'm gonna give it like 2. I'm giving it probably 2 minutes, which will also give me time to get water. That's probably the play, right? 2 minutes, real quick, get water, boom, easy. Like, you know, it makes the most sense, I think. Because I could really use some, you know? Sometimes it's about the water. Let me also get this set up as well. Sometimes you just need to set things up before you forget. Because if you don't, you're going to be in trouble. La da 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 da. Hold on. If you're here, you're just going to have to wait. It's all about waiting. It's a key factor in this. So it's all about patience, okay? Something most people don't understand. A lot of the most important things in life are about patience. Also, you can't. Okay, wow. So that works. I'll be typing away. You know what? I think I'm gonna do Control C and Control V here, and then just all right. What the? Why does it look like that? Why did it? I didn't ask for that. Hey. There we go. It's not what I asked for either. Sometimes I really question this thing's ability to do its job, you know? I'm gonna put... There we go. Oh, that's probably why, because it highlighted the background. Okay, I'm all set. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for waiting. Thank you for waiting 2 minutes and 43 seconds if you actually watched that prior to that, but you probably just skipped ahead to when the point where I actually started talking about real things that matter. We are back. The NFL Week 5 is about to wrap up here on Monday Night Football. The Jacksonville Jaguars are going to be playing against the Kansas City Chiefs on Monday night on ESPN at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you tune in for that. I'm going to be previewing that. I'm also going to be reviewing the last week of the NFL, Week 5. So I'll be reviewing all the 13 games that already happened. I'll be previewing Jags Chiefs. Huge game tonight for the Jaguars as they look to maintain pace with the 4-1 Indianapolis Colts. The Jags are also looking to get to 4-1 on the year. Their defense has been massive. It's been monstrous. It's forced 3 turnovers in all 4 games it has played this year. Meanwhile, for the Kansas City Chiefs, it's a big game for them too. They look to keep pace with their AFC West rivals. The Chargers dropped the game and the Broncos won. They both sit at 3-2. For Kansas City to get to 3-2 tonight would be a huge step to reminding everybody who still runs the division in the AFC West. Patrick Mahomes, Trevor Lawrence. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be exciting. I am joined today by a simple PNG of Cody Maverick from Surf's Up. A very underappreciated film. One of, if not the most underappreciated film. That's debatable, but I think it's always a good movie. It's probably one of my comfort animated movies, and I liked its setup. What I did not like was the complete advertisement of a sequel that this movie was, and that made me very sad. It made me sad that they just threw in a bunch of wrestlers and didn't really make it a movie. Just made it a giant promotion for... It was a movie that didn't even really need a sequel to begin with either, and they gave it one, and it was just an ad. It was an hour-and-a-half long ad for the WWE. And like, listen, I like some of the WWE wrestlers, but it's just an ad for the WWE. It wasn't really a movie, so don't watch it. I mean, if you're gonna watch it, try to make it fun. Like, make like a drinking game out of it. But like, you know, drink responsibly, all that stuff. What a week it was. We had an incredible Thursday night game. We had an incredible Sunday night game, both games ending in upsets. We had an incredible late window with some insane things happening. And of course, we have tonight, which should also be a great game. I mean, it might be the triple primetime upsets. We might get Jacksonville winning this game, and it would be an incredible week of primetime football. That would be the dream for me personally, so I'm excited for that. But I'm going to give my real quick sense on this game, and then I'm going to be reviewing the games. If you like what you see, of course, give a like and subscribe, and then we've got more stuff. You know, I'm trying my best. I'm trying my best to make stuff. It's just what I do. And what I do is make things, and I'm very touched that I'm able to make things. I feel like I try really hard. I do what I can. Before I get into grading everybody from last week, though, we have to get into tonight the big story headlines between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Kansas City Chiefs. For the Jacksonville Jaguars, the priority tonight, I think, has to revolve around Brian Thomas Jr., and I think Cody Maverick would 100% agree. You got to get your superstars involved if you're the Jacksonville Jaguars. If you're that offense, especially, because I thought, coming into the year, I thought that would be the team's strength, is that their offense would be good, that Travis Etienne would have a bounce-back year, that Brian Thomas Jr. would take another step in year 2, that Travis Hunter would be a big part of the offense. You know, like, even Brenton Strange, right? People were excited about him stepping up and being the number 1 tight end in Jacksonville. And, of course, the linchpin of all of that being that Trevor Lawrence finally proves it why he was taken number 1 overall in his draft class. Because he's a guy that can get it done. And the offense has been good at times. Trevor definitely looks like he fits into what Liam Cohen wants to do. But it hasn't necessarily been like on the levels of what like Tampa's looked like. Because that was who Liam Cohen really took to the next level with Baker. And now Baker's on a roll. I'm interested to see what he can do with Trevor Lawrence, and we still haven't seen that yet. It would be really big if they could do it on a national stage, at home, against a very good Kansas City Chiefs team. Or maybe not as good as it was previously, but certainly a team that is well-known, is well-regarded, maybe not respected, but understood as they have been on top, right? There's that, and that would be huge for Liam Cohen's squad. And speaking of Liam Cohen's squad, what's the name of this guy? I had looked him up. It's like Anthony Castellano, maybe? I think his first name was Anthony Campanile. That's the Jaguars defense coordinator. So, I got to talk about this guy a little bit. He was brought in by Liam Cohen to be the defensive coordinator. I believe he was the linebackers coach in Green Bay as well as the run game coordinator, or the running backs coach. And this guy looks legit. He has turned around a defense that was absolutely garbage last year, and it's early in the year. But I wouldn't doubt it if by the end of the year, Anthony Campanile is being called by a couple teams to either be their defense coordinator or straight up be their head coach. I wouldn't doubt it. I know it's an offensive league, but with the way this defense has looked through the first 3 weeks, if they can, or 4 weeks rather, if this team can do what they've been doing the first 4 weeks to Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, I think that's a lot of cause for celebration, and that should be cause for celebration in Jacksonville. They should be really excited about the rest of the season. I don't know. I think it could be fun. I think it could be interesting to see what that defense does. I mean, they've been making impact plays. I believe Travon Walker is the one concern here because he had to get surgery on his wrist. We don't know what his status is. In fact, I'm going to find that out right now. Is Travon Walker injury? I don't believe he is active. Yeah, he is out. So he's going to be out for this game for Monday Night Football. I think that might matter, especially when you talk about they're going to probably like put a lot of guys on Josh Hines-Allen. They're going to double team him. They're going to give him his chip blocks. They're going to make sure he does not impact the game as much. And that's going to be a little easier to do with Travon Walker being out of the game. But my goodness, I think Jacksonville, this would be such a huge statement win for them to get against Kansas City. As for the Chiefs, I think they should be a little nervous heading into this game. I know they whooped Baltimore, but we just watched Houston whoop Baltimore. We don't know what that win means really now at this point. If you're looking at, say, a real win here against a team that is A, 3-1, and B is the only reason the Niners have a loss on the season at all, this actually has the makings of a really good game. I just need to see. I really want to see Trevor Lawrence really take that next step for Jacksonville, and for the Kansas City Chiefs, I need to see what their offense is going to continue to look like moving forward. Where's their run game going to come from? Is it going to come from Pacheco or Kareem Hunt, or how are they going to get those short yardage situations to make those shorter third downs more manageable? To me, it's going to be a lot of Xavier Worthy. Kansas City right now is the weakest they will be, is I guess my point. And for Jacksonville to get a win now would be huge against them, especially later when it might come down to seeding and all that, when we look at all these divisions. I think right now would be a big win because right now, no Rashee Rice. And that matters for a team that will be better. Like, Kansas City will just continue to improve as the season goes along. For Jacksonville to get a win here, to get some more big momentum, stay with the Colts in the division, it would be huge for them to get the win tonight on Monday Night Football. Personally, I picked the Jags because I like them at home. Their defense has been very good. And you know what, while we're at it, let's look at Monday Night Football props. Let's try to take 3 here. Let's try to take 3 props from this game that could possibly be good. I'm wondering, where would I even go? Monday Night Football props. Let's just go DraftKings. I'm thinking there's got to be a couple of decent props on here for sure. Come on, dude. Come on. Now the full game. Give me the full game. Let's go. I would say I'm gonna go with a hot take. I think Trevor Lawrence over in passing. I think regardless, this is going to be a night where Trevor needs to throw the ball. He needs to be a big part of the offense if they're going to win. If I think Jacksonville's going to win, then I think Trevor Lawrence is going to need to go over 211 yards for them to win. So I'm going to roll with Trevor on the over in passing. I'll swap it over to receiving. I'm going to say, interesting passing props. Pacheco at 6.5. He's not gotten any catches this year. That's fascinating. Okay, lack of Noah Gray, honestly, over 5.5. Or is that what it is? Is it the average? Or wait, what am I looking at? Oh, 15 plus? Ooh, that's a little gross. I don't like that. Xavier Worthy at 70 plus. That's an interesting. Interesting analogy there. I'm not really sure what to roll with. I would probably wait. Xavier Worthy. Oh, that's the first quarter. Hold on. I'm not exactly. I'll say 6. I'll say Xavier Worthy gets 6+ catches. I'm crazy like that. I think they're gonna have to get Xavier Worthy involved because they don't have any other place to get a running game going. And I think they would need Xavier Worthy to get that done. So I'll say Xavier plus 6+. Yeah, I'll say Xavier 6+. I would say. Let's say Trevor. What's that right now? Oh, 220 plus. At minus 108. And then I'm going to go ETN. ETN gets 70 yards. No, it actually doesn't make sense. You can't really bet ETN and Lawrence at the same time. I'll bet Trevor gets over 15 rushing yards, though. Meaning that placing $10 gets you... Oh, I don't actually see the number because I'm not logged in. Well, you know what? It is what it is. Payout $90. $10 gets you 90 on that. I don't hate that, honestly. Xavier Worthy 6 catches is the one that scares me. But I think the other 2 are going to hit, personally. I watched me be wrong on all 3. That's usually what ends up happening. Actually, it didn't happen on Thursday night. I got an all 3 right there. So, 10 nets you 90. I'll tell you right now, lock it in. Trevor Lawrence 15 plus rushing yards, Trevor Lawrence 220 plus passing yards, and then Xavier Worthy more than 6 catches. Those are the 3. $10 pays you 90. Low key. I think it could happen because I don't see where Kansas City's gonna run the ball. Like I think they're gonna have to throw it, and Xavier Worthy should be the main target. I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna go with that for now. And I do think Jacksonville does get the win, so I might as well throw on the cover the spread at least. Well, actually, then if I think they're gonna win, then what's the point? I would just take money line. And that spread, what is that spread? Oh my god, I already lost it. What? Doesn't matter. Point of the game: take Jacksonville to win. I take Trevor's over in passing. I just think he does it. That would be my take. Moving on to grading last week. We have to look into last week. We have to see where exactly things went. Hopefully it's... Nope, of course it's not. I have to change that real quick. Hang on. Give me 1 second. I'm going to find it. As I always do. Naturally. And yeah. Oh, wow. Perfect. Look at that. It's already set up. It's already perfectly... So, of course, we have our stud of the week, the team that played the best, versus our biggest butt muncher, the team that was the absolute worst and trash. And then we've got the teams that are on bye. It's a little new category because now there are bye teams. And yes, there's actually a separate category between being an F tier and being the biggest butt muncher on this list, because there were some teams that absolutely fumbled this week. And let's just get started. Let's get started with a slow burn. Let's just take it back to Thursday Night Football. Let's talk about the 49ers taking on the Rams. First, for the San Francisco 49ers, the winners of that game. 49ers won 26-23 against the LA Rams in overtime. Multiple key plays in this game. A huge forced fumble against Kyren Williams, as well as stuffing Kyren Williams on a 4th and 1 to ice the game. 49ers, you were not. Now, I will say this. Personally, in my opinion, not quite. Well, actually, hold on. They might be the stud of the week. I have to think. It's tough because I see like there are a lot of like good wins that I liked this week. I don't think I'm going to do that with the 49ers, but I will give them an A. I don't think they're the stud of the week, but I think an A is very much in the cards for them. They played some inspired football. That's the reality. No Brock Purdy, nor George Kittle, still no Brandon Ayuk. Ricky Pearsall was out of this game. Nick Bosa's at a torn ACL, and yet they still find ways to win. And as much as I have knocked on Kyle Shanahan for a very long time, I am a Kyle Shanahan hater based on just how many games he's blown. I thought that I had a meme set up when they had blown a 10-point lead. I'm like, it's happening again. Kyle can't hold a lead. They rallied. They made some huge plays in this game, and they went on to win in overtime. That is unbelievable to me. That is incredibly impressive resolve from a super banged up 49ers team. An incredible effort by Mac Jones, who has looked really good in service of Brock Purdy. It's tough to say whether or not he's actually better, but the reality is he's doing what Kyle's telling him to do. And I'll give credit to Kyle Shanahan. Despite everything telling you the Rams should blow him out, they struck first, they punched him in the mouth, they kept with him, and then they held on to win the game in overtime. Kendrick Bourne looking like prime Jerry Rice. Like, it was an amazing performance by Mac Jones, by Kendrick Bourne, by everybody on that 49ers team stepping up and making plays. I think Robert Saleh being there as the defensive coordinator has 100% changed the tone for the 49ers as well. I gotta give the 49ers a lot of credit at this point in time. They're 4-1. I don't know how good that is yet still, but you beat the Rams, so I gotta give you credit. That looks pretty good if you're able to do that. So right now, gotta give you an A. Prime time, that was an incredible win. As for the Rams, that is a tough loss, and for that, I kind of have to give a D. It's not a complete F, because very much I understand it's a division rival game. Even if they had won the game, it still would have felt like a C, and I feel like the 49ers would have arguably played a better game. Kyren Williams struggled. I mean, that was a painful fumble to have happen, number one. Number two, getting stuffed on 4th and 1, I did not like that play call at all. I understand it is a short down and distance, and you had been running the ball well, but you had thrown it all the way down there. I'm surprised they don't give it to Matt Stafford and let him rip one to either Puka Nacua or Devontae Adams to get the first down or the touchdown. That I didn't understand. I didn't understand that at all. Their secondary has been atrocious, okay? I can understand getting torn up by Jalen Hurts, and even to some extent Daniel Jones, who's played well to start the year. But now Mac Jones did the same thing. And I know I'm giving Mac Jones credit, but I have to criticize that that's been the reality of your defense. Your defense, especially in the back end, has absolutely struggled. And if your back end's going to struggle, then your front's going to struggle to be able to generate pressure because nobody can cover. Nobody can cover for long periods of time. So, or even a short period of time. That's the reality. The guys are getting open immediately, and it wasn't Ayuk or Ricky Pearsall. Kendrick Bourne was cutting them up. So ultimately, oh gosh, I clicked the wrong thing. No, there we go. Okay. Ultimately, it was a D for me, and I think now you got to play Baltimore. I'm gonna be honest. If Lamar Jackson plays, I'm gonna be honest. Even if Lamar Jackson doesn't play, Cooper Rush might cut him up, and if that's the case, then I'd be very concerned for that back end. I think they need to draft a cornerback. I think they need to invest in the back end. I think they need to trade for somebody. I know that Tariq Woolen will probably not be accessible because it's Seattle, and Seattle's not going to trade within division. But you need to go out, find someone in the back end, some sort of defensive back to be able to control the backside and say, because you can't let receivers be running through this defense. It's just, you're wasting some of Matt Stafford's best years. Matt Stafford is arguably having one of the best seasons of his career. You could argue this team should be 5-0 with the way Matt Stafford's played, especially. I don't feel like either of these games are really on Stafford. Stafford's put them in every single position and moment to win, and they haven't been able to win those 2 games. And now they face Baltimore. We'll see how healthy Baltimore is next week, but this defense needs to play better on the back end if the Rams are going to have a shot at making a playoff run or winning this division. Especially because when you look at the division, 4-1 San Francisco, Seattle looks good too. I guess the real joke of the division is Arizona. We'll get to them, but not good. They gotta shore up the back end for sure. Moving forward, let's talk the Saints. They got their first win after being 0-4. They looked miserable. They played competitively in Buffalo and at home. It looked like the Giants were going to go in and blow them out. I think the Giants were up 10 early in the game. New Orleans played solidly. Spencer Rattler finally gets his first win. I'll put it in B. Wasn't an amazing game. Wasn't incredible. But they got done. They got it done. They got done what they needed to get done. It wasn't necessarily impressive, but New Orleans was desperate for a win. They were pleading for one. And let me go back and I need to double check the stat lines of this game, because when I was looking at this game, I was like, I thought the Giants were going to eventually, they'll punch it in, they'll take it out. But some opportunistic plays from the defense, especially. Spencer Rattler wasn't bad. 21-31, 225, 1 touchdown. And again, he took advantage of his opportunity. They hit a big play to Rashid Shaheed. New Orleans won on the big plays, right? They had a long touchdown pass to Rashid Shaheed. They had the Jordan Howden 86-yard return on the defensive end. And then it was tough for the Giants to really get back in the game after that. For the Giants, it's a crushing. It's certainly a crushing loss, no doubt. And they're going to learn from it as well. But right now, they're kind of with the Rams in a D category. That was kind of your game. You were right there in the red zone. Fumbling it away is heartbreaking there from Cam Scadaboo. But I got to give credit to the Saints. They needed a win. They needed to get off the schneid, and they're 1-4. Both teams are 1-4, so we're not expecting too much from them throughout the rest of the year. But I will say this. Jackson Dart and the Giants are very fortunate. At least I'll say Brian Daboll's very fortunate that they beat the Chargers the week before, because if they lost to the Chargers and then lost this game, there's a real chance that Brian Daboll does not have a job this Monday evening. But to each their own. We'll see how that continues to go, but not very good for the Giants to be losing in New Orleans in that fashion. Got to give it a D. Oh, next up, let's talk about my favorite team's division rival, the Baltimore Ravens. They are not the biggest butt muncher, not at the moment, but they are an F. They played an awful game. And you might say they're banged up. There's no Roquan Smith. There's no Lamar. There's no Kyle Hamilton. We have nobody healthy. I'm gonna stop you right there. This Texans team is terrible. This Texans team doesn't have a good offensive line. This Texans team struggled with the Titans, who hadn't won a game until this week, and even to win that game, it took literally a miracle. It took something I had never even seen happening before. And yet, this Ravens team at home lost by more than 30 points. They lost 44-10. What was it? That was the final score, right? Like 44-10? Unbelievable. Embarrassing. A disaster. They haven't been able to run the ball well since week 1 against Buffalo. Buffalo Bills came back and won that game. Baltimore hasn't been the same. And now they are 1-4. They're going to attempt to rush Lamar Jackson back against the LA Rams. That, to me, spells a recipe for disaster. That's my personal opinion. I just don't think you should be rushing a guy back, especially based on the nature of that hamstring injury from week 4, saying, oh, we couldn't even put him back in, even, there was no way he was going back in the game. And now you're going to rush him back from that? That's concerning. It just is. It's concerning for this entire football team. And again, 1-4 right now. You're lucky that Cleveland, since Cincinnati's down their quarterback and Cleveland just sucks. I guess the only real problem you have to deal with is Pittsburgh if you want to win that division still. But it's not just their starters. They actively are not fully healthy, and they're going to be in a position where they're going to need to work on it's not just about their starters. It's about the fact that the defense, again, just like last year, is off to a really bad start. And the difference is, well, now you have your starting quarterback with a hamstring injury. Derrick Henry's not running the ball the same way. Doesn't look the same since week 1. So for the Ravens, I think if it wasn't panic mode before, it's 100% panic mode now at 10 out of 10 on that sort of a scale. And as for the team that beat them, the Texans, you get an A. What can I say? You get an A. I know I just clowned on Baltimore, but the reality is, if you are the Houston Texans and you were 1-3, and you have been playing poorly, getting a blowout win it feels good. It has to feel good to a certain extent. All of a sudden, now that 0-3 start after back-to-back wins doesn't look as terrible, right? And let me double check, because if I'm looking at Houston right now, and again, the strong starts that the Colts and the Jaguars have gotten off to makes that feel a little bit more difficult to handle. And to be fair, for Houston, doesn't get easier. I thought it might. That's why I was going to check, but it does not. Road game against Seattle. I believe they have a bye week this week, because it looks like they don't play again until the 20th. So it looks like they would have a bye week this week. So they get Seattle to get some extra prep time for Seattle. Look at San Francisco at home, then Denver, then Jacksonville, and then the Titans. They got 4 seemingly tough games, because all those teams have at least 3 wins. So it doesn't get easier. So for that game to be a blowout, for them to dominate Baltimore the way they did, kind of get a little revenge for last year's Christmas game, it's got to feel good if you're Houston. And it's got to feel good for C.J. Stroud, who's been much maligned in his play. He looked much better. That team looked much better overall. So I'm going to give credit there. I'm going to give credit to the Texans. They get a win. A performance. Not the stud of the week, but we're getting there. We're getting to our stud of the week. Let's go to Miami. This is gonna be controversial. I think this is an F. I think it's controversial because they're kind of a bad team, and they played also a team that's similar to their skill level. But how'd you let Rico Dowdle go for 234 yards? 234 yards. How? That was a run defense that wasn't even that bad last year. I think it was top 10. It was a top 10 rush defense last year. I think it was 8th or 9th. And you let that happen? How? How does Rico Dowdle completely dominate the game? It makes no sense. I understand Tua played fairly well, but even on that last drive, Tua was all over the place. Tua almost threw a pick on the second play of the drive. They got nothing going late in the game. So I was like, what are we doing here? Yo, Easton 7 goated. What's up, Easton? Good to see you, man. Worthy needs to lock in. I have him as my wide receiver 1 fantasy. I am riding that same fantasy train with you. I have Travis Etienne. He needs to lock in against the Kansas City Chiefs, dude. I cannot be 1-4 right now. I cannot be 1-4 in this league, man. I am telling you, it's unfair. It's ridiculous. Josh Allen absolutely pooped the bed on Sunday night when I needed him most, and I got Etienne going up against Trevor and Harrison Butker, Chiefs kicker. So I am in what I'm going to refer to as a pickle. That is insane to me. It's brutal stuff. It's unfair, man. It is just not fair. But you know what? I believe in Etienne that he'll get something done in the pass game or the rush game and lead me to victory somehow. So that's all I can hope for. But I think Miami, back to Miami, I think it is an F. Just the way that your team played rushing the football, I can't understand it. I can't understand the idea of letting Rico Dowdle do what he did. I just don't. And to allow Bryce Young to, again, look good. I think if you're any team and you make Bryce Young look good, I just got to think you're bad. I'm sorry. I want Bryce Young to succeed, but he only succeeds against bad teams. It's it's a no contest. It's just completely rolled, dude. It doesn't help anything. It's an F all around for Miami because how do you? I picked up Rico Dowdle thinking, all right, he'll put up a decent game. No, 32 plus points and 234 yards. It's unheard of. I mean, nobody's rushed for 200 yards yet this year except for him. And he's the backup running back in Carolina. So that's how bad Miami's rush defense is. I have to give them enough for this because I would have thought they would have won if they just played well, but they did not. Easton, 0-4. Oh, Joe Burrow. Having Joe Burrow right now. Dude, in one of my other leagues, I had Jaden Daniels. He was out 2 weeks, comes back, still mid. Still has not been the guy. I am, like, every single one of my teams. I drafted, like, Brock Bowers in 2 of my leagues. Surprisingly, my best decision, drafting Christian McCaffrey in 2 of my leagues. Hasn't been hurt yet. Somehow, actually a decent decision by me, but most of my other stuff, it's been so bad. Why did I draft 2 Raiders? Why did I think that the Raiders offense would somehow be good with Geno Smith? What was I thinking? What was I actually thinking? But I have Cam Ward. Is that an upgrade? Did he have a good performance this week? I mean, I know they beat the Arizona Cardinals, which actually I'll probably get into that game next because that was so bad. That was a terrible performance by Arizona. Nah, just not good. That's rough. I didn't say because I know he had at least 1 interception. Because we all know the play I'm thinking of right now. It's anyway, let me get to Carolina. Carolina, it's so weird, right? Because yeah, fine, you played decent against a bad team, but it just that first quarter. What do we like? I get it. They bounced back. They played better, but it was just why? How are we like Xavier Legette looks good, but how is it that Bryce Young still can't hold on? Like we all saw it. First play, first quarter, fumbles the ball. Just fumbles the ball is not even touched. Like I'm like freeze framing. I'm actually freeze framing because there's no way that Bryce Young is this absolute complete roller coaster ride of anytime he plays a bad team. It's like, oh, he's got potential, but he's still gonna look bad. And then anytime he plays a somewhat decent team, oh my gosh, it's chopped liver. Like you're done. You're done. It's GG's. It's cooked. It's over. You're donezo. There's nothing for it. And also Tony Pollard. Oh, you just got the Titans, man. You gotta just, you know what? If you're gonna have all the Titans, just go all in. Go trade for Calvin Ridley. Go pick up Tyler Lockett. Get Okonkwo. I actually wouldn't doubt it if I think Cam Ward and Pollard are probably the only, and maybe the Titans. Who would even want the Titans defense? Maybe they were a Titans kicker. But, I would imagine most of the Titans are free agents in fantasy right now. Even in 14-man leagues, it's who's adding Tyler Lockett these days and expecting a touchdown, you know? Poor guy. I miss the Seahawk days, man. I really do. I miss prime Seahawk players, even though I'm not even a Seahawk fan. I just miss Seahawk players in their prime. They had some of the most... I mean, back then, yeah, they had some of the most aura. And from 2014, or 2012 to 2016, some of the most aura amongst players in general. Baldwin, Lockett, Curse, Wilson, Sherman, Chancellor, Earl Thomas, Bobby Wagner, Michael Bennett, Cliff Averill, swag, apps, and CeeDee Lamb, dude. That is an 0-4 squad. That's tough. Good gracious, man. That's brutal. I feel for you though. I mean, I'm not 0-4, so I can't feel that pain as much. But I get it. Having be in last place in fantasy football is not fun, Easton. I think I was there 2 years ago. I wasn't there last year, but I was down in the dumps 2 years ago. Vikings did they? Wow. Oh wait, Vikings defense didn't even get a turnover against Dylan Gabriel either. Vikings defense played well a couple weeks ago against Cincinnati. Did they? I'm trying to think because I watched a lot of that Vikings Browns game. I don't remember them recording a sack. And I don't think the Browns turned it over. Wow. Not a good week. Not a good week, man. That's a brutal week. No one in my league. Wait, number one. Is that are you saying there's no one in your league, or you're number one in my league? Oh, the Vikings defense is number one in your league. Right, because they had 2 touchdowns against Cincinnati. Wait, now I'm confused. I don't know what that's referring to. That could be referring to so many things, and I just have no idea. Shoot, I have no idea. It's probably they probably are number one. It might be Indy actually. Indy might be number one too. I'm not sure though. There's a chance. There's a chance the Colts are, because I know they just... Vikings defense is number... Okay. Gotcha. I was wondering, because Colts may have been, just because I know they Well, they may not have scored that touchdown, though. I think Jonathan Taylor ended up getting that at the 1-yard line. So maybe they didn't count that pick six. But I know Colts are probably up there, too, for good defenses. They've been... They ripped Geno Smith a new asshole, I'll tell you what. Yep. Right there, number 2. Everybody's been ripping up Geno Smith. It's been crazy. Well, I want to talk about that for a second. Geno Smith, dude, this is F performance from the Raiders. Who was it? I think it was Nick Wright. In the preseason who was like, guys, watch out for the Raiders. They're going to finish second in the division. Get off the airwaves. Get off my TV waves. Get off my feed. Get off my social media feed. Get off. Because you're dead wrong. Clearly dead wrong. The only good part of that team, Ashton Jeanty. And he'll only show up like once in every 4 weeks. Like he'll have a big game and then be quiet for like the next 3 weeks and then explode, right? And they won't even necessarily win. Geno Smith's terrible. Seattle somehow, for the second time, I can't believe Seattle did this. Seattle, for the second time in a row, knew exactly when to move off their quarterback. They moved off Russell Wilson at the perfect time, and they moved off Geno Smith at the perfect time. I don't know how they pulled that off. I will never... Like, if Green Bay is the GOAT of drafting quarterbacks, Seattle is the GOAT of knowing when to move off. Easton, 7 goated. Thank you for the follow, man. Appreciate you for tuning in tonight. That is awesome. Appreciate you, Easton, for giving the follow, and I hope we all enjoy Jags. I really hope the Jags just win that game, man, against the Chiefs. I really need that to be the case. I really need the Jaguars to just... I need them to just win that game. I do not need to see a Chiefs. I don't need to see... Here's teams. You ready? List of teams I don't want to see in the Super Bowl this year. Chiefs. Eagles. Honestly, don't want either of the teams from last year. Don't want to see them. Don't need to see them. Baltimore, Cincinnati, Cleveland. Steelers fan, don't need to see that. Not good for my mental health. Right now, Patriots. I'm a little annoyed that they already found their successing franchise quarterback so quickly. That kind of annoys me. I guess I'm okay with the 49ers. Normally I wouldn't be, but if it's like somehow Mac Jones, I think that'd be kind of funny. Who else do I not want to see? I guess kind of Cowboys in the same way. I don't really want to see Dallas there that much either. I just don't know. I just don't really know. Matt Prater's the kicker. Really? I guess, okay. I guess that makes sense. It's the Bills' offense. I sometimes I think Matt, like every time I hear Prater and like any kicker that hasn't like, that's not on the team I remember them with, I usually kind of think they're washed. Like, like to me, Matt Prater's always going to be like a Lion more so. I know he was Denver first, but I see him more as like a Detroit Lion. It's kind of weird. Like he's not I don't believe he was even drafted by Denver, but I feel like a little bit waiver wire. That may have been because we didn't know Bass was going to be hurt. So that's actually a clutch pickup to at least get Prater, because he's on a good offense, right? It's weird. It's weird drafting a kicker too in fantasy, because it's like you need a guy who's on a decent offense, but you not too good of an offense where they're getting touchdowns, right? You need like an offense that gets kind of close but still settles for 3. It's why I usually like Pittsburgh's, because Boz is just a good kicker. Brandon Aubrey's usually good. Like you need like a middle of the pack offense. Like basically, I think like the Saints. Like when Derek Carr was on the Saints, like he could get you 20 to 20. He'd get you between the 20s, but once it got to the red zone, you knew they weren't scoring. You just knew they were settling for 3. It was just whoever Derek Carr kicker, boom, okay, mine now. Snatch them up. But the Raiders were cheeks. Do you stream the game live? So, Darian, unfortunately, I do not stream the game live. I would get channel strike for that. But I will say there are sites that do that. Particularly, a river of the eastern variety .Mississippi or .Georgia, if you want to stream the game. I mean, I'm good because I'm probably gonna watch it. Like I'm gonna be real. Like I like doing this, but I gotta do it only for an hour. Because if I do it for like 3 to 4 hours, I'm gonna be like, man, I'm gonna fall asleep in my chair after like a couple beers. Because I get hit with the work week and it's long. It's a little long. ESPN. It'll be on ESPN. Or I mean, listen. I am. If you indulge in the river of the Eastern variety, it's just the river to the east. You know what? I don't know if you guys knew, if chat knew this, but when we talk about, there was like the whole thing at the beginning of the year, like, dang man, they're gonna get rid of Stream East, and like, dude, they were never gonna do that. That was almost like that was never gonna happen. They were never gonna get rid of it. It was just going to be around, right? It was going to exist, and yet, like, come on, we all knew it wasn't going away. Ooh, you know what? Colts though. We knew Stream East wasn't going away. I'm just shocked that there was this like, oh gosh, it's gonna die, and now Red Zone also has ads. But like, it's okay, guys. I mean, it's not okay that Red Zone has ads. I don't like that. Red Zone, I don't know why. Even for like the 4, like it's only I think 4, like 3 in the entire viewing session. But it's like, why do that at all? Why compromise the integrity of Red Zone football? Because the whole point is like, it's 7 hours of commercial-free football, but now it just sounds wrong. It sounds wrong to hear him say what he just said. It's like, and plus, when that happened last year, it was just blindsided. Everybody just got blindsided. He said that? He didn't say 7 hours of commercial-free football? Are you kidding? Are you kidding me? And like, it pissed off a lot of people, rightfully so. I'm still annoyed about it now. Respectfully, Scott, I love you, man, but ads need to stay. Those commercials need to stay off. It's like, that's the point. There are still ads. Like, there are pop-up ads while you watch Red Zone. It's the commercial part that's ridiculous. And like, especially because they're all bad. They're all really bad commercials. Look at what's his face? Look at, like, if you've seen the Trevor Lawrence and Travis Hunter ad, what is that even like? What am I watching? Like, I don't understand it. It looks like it doesn't even look like they're there. It looks like they animated over like somebody in like a green screen suit. Like, it's gonna be those Vigil AI ads. Like, it's just gonna be that, and it'll be that forever. It's just like, what are we doing? What are we doing with all this? Anyway, back on track. Oh, tangents. All right, let me throw the teams in here that were on bye. Steelers were on bye. Boom. We won this week as far as I'm concerned. Every other one of our division rivals lost. Huge. Bears were on bye. Packers were on bye week. The other last team was Atlanta. Boom. Bye week teams. They don't get grades because, well, they didn't play. Can't change that. Colts. A for the Colts. They absolutely took their fingers and shoved them up Geno Smith's butt and puppeteered him around for 60 minutes. I emphasize this strongly. I don't know how Seattle knew, because I don't think anyone else did. Nick Wright certainly didn't. He's got the Raiders finishing second in the division of the Chiefs. No one knew. No one knew. Not even Pete Carroll knew, because Pete Carroll went and got him, and in 5 games is already regretting his choice. Magic. Voodoo magic. There's something up in the air in Seattle. I don't know what it is, but they have a way of just getting guys who can play somewhat well at the quarterback position. I don't know what it is, but they have it. They have it. As for Indianapolis, though, Jonathan Taylor looks like the absolute fantasy stud of the year so far. 3 touchdowns this week. Wish I had him, but I didn't. Instead, I'm playing against him. And I'm probably going to lose unless Travis Etienne does exactly what Jonathan Taylor did yesterday. So, that's my reality. That's my life right now. So we'll see how that goes. As for the Colts, congratulations. Daniel Jones still on pace to be MVP. You know, it's just how it is. Or, make a Pro Bowl. Probably make a Pro Bowl, actually. I think that's the more realistic ceiling for Daniel Jones. Get a Pro Bowl berth. We can all live with that. We can all find solace and happiness that Daniel Jones is finding success. Cincinnati Bengals up next. They played Detroit. That's a D. I'll give it a D because they at the very least were able to get some action out of Jamar Chase late in the game. Did it matter? Of course it didn't, because Cincinnati is terrible without Joe Burrow. I don't know why they don't look for another quarterback. I don't know why they convince themselves that Jake Browning is the answer. Because he's not. He just isn't. Russell Wilson is available. Kirk Cousins is available. You know who they really should get? Just go get Andy Dalton. Go get Andy. The only reason I don't think you'd be able to get Andy is because the Panthers aren't sure of Bryce Young and just want to have Andy as a backup. But the reality is I think people would be fine to see Andy Dalton suit back up for the Bengals. It makes a lot of sense. I don't see how the Cincinnati Bengals can remotely convince themselves, like, okay, guys, yeah, like, we're like that. You know, Jake Browning, he's the truth. No, he's not. Through, what was it, like 11 quarters? They scored, like, through 11 quarters up until that fourth quarter against the Lions, they scored, what, 12 points? No, like 16. Not good. Not good. Bad. Very bad. Trying to trade DeAndre Swift for Cam Skadaboo. Is that a winning trade? That's fascinating. I definitely think you would win that trade for sure. I don't think DeAndre Swift... I don't trust the Bears. I don't trust the Bears offense. I think Skadaboo has higher value for sure just because there's no Tyron Tracy. He's hurt. I actually have Skadaboo right now. I wish he had fumbled against New Orleans. But honestly, with his low performance rate and with potentially Tyron Tracy coming back, that could be kind of a steal because I think Skadaboo's still very clearly the number one back. I don't think they're interested in running Tyron Tracy or Devin Singletary as the star guy. I like that trade. I like that trade for you. I think the guy, whoever you're trading with DeAndre Swift to, probably loses. Because DeAndre's just not very good. What can I say? DeAndre Swift just ain't him. Ooh. Denver. We're on to Denver and Philly. Lock in, everybody, because guess what? We have our stud of the week. Thank God Denver won this game. I did not need to see Philly win this game the way that they have. And the reality is, I need this win. Number one, I said we do a show on Sunday. I had said on Sunday that the Denver Broncos would get this win, and I was glad to be correct. Philadelphia kind of let Denver get too much of a run game going. They let Bo Nix operate and function well late in the game, and they end up losing because of it. And to be honest, I gotta be real. This is also like a D performance. Actually, you know what? No, I'll give it a C. I won't be that harsh, but I'm gonna be honest. Saquon has struggled to start the year running the route. The Eagles' offensive line is not nearly as good as it was last year. This passing game has been a real struggle. It's been, like, could you imagine it being insanely difficult to get your number one receiver involved? Like, I can understand it if you're, like, maybe the Bengals and you're starting your backup, and I can kind of see where you might struggle. It shouldn't be difficult to get A.J. Brown involved, and yet it was. I understand Devontae Smith had a very good game. It should not be difficult to get A.J. Brown involved. It just shouldn't. It feels like a hassle to do. Thursday night, they're going to match up against the New York Giants. They should win that game. But if that game proves to be a struggle to win, then clearly Philadelphia has an issue. They just do. Especially if they lose that game. Ooh, if they found a way to lose to the Giants on Thursday Night Football, especially considering what we've seen from the Giants as of late, if they find a way to lose that game, I'm going to tell you right now, that's bad for Philly fans. I'll tell you what, if they find a way to lose to the New York Giants, they're going to be in some hot water. They're going to be in some trouble. But I'm going to give all the credit to Denver. Denver played with their balls out. Their balls were outside of their pants. Okay? They were balls out gaming. What they were able to do, just going for two there. That is a gut. That making that call on the road against this defending Super Bowl champs, that takes guts. That takes trust in not just your quarterback. That takes trust in your offensive line. That takes trust in your skill position players, which I think are better than people think, but I still don't think are amazing by any stretch. Give Sean Payton the Denver Broncos credit. That's probably their most impressive win of Sean Payton's coaching tenure in Denver. Undoubtedly the most impressive win. Got to give a lot of credit to the Denver Broncos for finding a way to win that one. Moving along. Oh, we didn't even talk about Detroit. Detroit for beating the Bengals. Yeah, I mean, oh my gosh, so much spit just flew out of my face. Oh my god, what is wrong with me? I'm like a faucet. Detroit had no problem with that, right? Like, nobody thought, oh, wow, Detroit's going to be... No. Detroit was never going to struggle in this game. They were going to win. I am a little concerned about their defense with the way it played down the stretch, but at the end of the day, they got it done. There was an expectation that they are going to get it done. They were fine moving along. Keep on keeping on. Rank the Titans A. Titans, I'm going to be real. Rank the Titans A. I'm going to be real. Titans, I can't rank them A. Respectfully, I can't give the Titans an A. They get a B. They won the game, but I'm going to tell you right now, I know who's getting the biggest butt muncher award, and it's the Arizona Cardinals. Let me say the Titans. That was very entertaining to see happen. I'm glad that you didn't quit. You gave it everything you got. You fought for that win. I need this camera look to me right now. Arizona Cardinal fans, I feel for you. I feel awful for you. Because that is one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen. Good boy. Whoa, Easton, you did not. I just saw that. Nah, you did not just say good boy. That's vile. That's vile. I didn't even listen to you. I put them in B, man. I didn't even put them in A. What do you mean, good boy? That's crazy. Man, dude. I feel rage baited. I feel jebaited, man. I feel about my. It's a Monday. The work week just started, and you got to be out here calling me good boy. Evil stuff, dude. Oh, but I do respect a little rage bait. I can't lie. Oh, dude. But I gotta say this about the Arizona Cardinals. That was atrocious. I don't think I've seen a team lose in a more embarrassing fashion than the way the Arizona Cardinals lost to the Tennessee Titans. First of all, we had just seen last week Adonai Mitchell fumble a ball over the goal line. And what does Amari DiMercado do? He does the exact same thing. Up 21-6. Game would have been 28-6. It would have been over. He does it. He fumbles the ball. And the worst part is, that may not even be the most embarrassing play of this game. Because the Arizona Cardinals, with 4.5 minutes to go, pick off Cam Ward, up 2 scores. The game is over. Just get down at that point. Instead, he fumbles the ball. The Arizona Cardinals fumble the ball, and it goes back into their own end zone somehow. And the Titans wide receiver Tyler Lockett recovers it. And then they aren't even able to get enough yards the next offensive possession to just ice the game, which allows Cam Ward to go down and get them into game-winning field goal range. And the Cardinals lose and have now lost 3 in a row. It's just, it has to be one of the most upsetting things to ever see as a football fan. I don't know how people kept their composure. If they were at this game, if you were at this game as a Cardinal fan, how did you keep your composure? I need to know. I would have stormed the field. I would have stormed the field and would have had to actively tackle the Titans kicker because I just couldn't allow that to happen. I just couldn't. I would be so defeated and so dejected. And they you know what? To the Cardinals, they get under the radar for the most part with this, but they are probably one of the worst franchises in the National Football League. Like, bottom 5, and it does not get talked about nearly enough. But they are terrible, and this moment highlights that to an incredible degree. It was nightmarish to watch what had happened in that game happen. And I don't wish that on anybody. I don't wish that on even my worst opponents. I really don't. Because you got to show up to work tomorrow. You got to show up to work the next day after your team just did that. You got to wear a Cardinal jersey with pride? How? How can you manage? Larry Fitzgerald must have been disgusted. I don't have words. I'm out of words. I had words. They're all gone. All gone. Done. Butt munchers of the week are the Arizona Cardinals by far, and it's not close. Oh, gosh. I had so much to say about that. Moving on. Let's jump over to London, England, where the Vikings played the Browns. It was okay. Vikings won. C-tier win. Like, you get a grade of a C. And honestly, probably the Browns also get a grade of a C. They didn't win the game, but their defense was solid for the majority of the game. Dylan Gabriel didn't make any stupid, boneheaded mistakes. I thought he was fine for his rookie debut. I didn't expect him to be great. I didn't expect him to go for like 400 yards or anything. He didn't turn it over. He didn't make too many bonehead mistakes. He did what he needed to do. It's a C. But for the Vikings, I mean, this game shouldn't have really played out the way it did. I feel like they made some porous mistakes. Jordan Mason had a critical fumble. It just doesn't feel like... Clearly, the Vikings are not the same team from last year. They feel mediocre, even with the fact that there will be... I know there's no J.J. McCarthy. I don't think it looked much different. I think it looked very similar. I think this team is going to go back very much to being Justin Jefferson dependent again. And I think it's going to be definitely worse than last year. Even if and when McCarthy comes back, it doesn't feel remotely like a team that is even close to being 14 wins. They definitely weren't going to win 14 games. I don't think they're even going to win 10. I just think... Have they played... They haven't even played anyone... Oh, no, they did play Chicago. But even then, like, it took them 3 quarters to get going against Chicago. And that's just... If it takes 3 quarters to get going against Detroit or Green Bay, you're not winning that game. You're just not. Green Bay's not too good a defense and too young offensively, and we've seen Detroit put teams away before the half even is over. So... You can't be slow to start against those teams. And if they are, then you're going to get your goose cooked. I'm going to jump to... how many games we got? Ooh, let's grade the Jets. Let's grade the Jets, folks. I wonder how many times they'll end up in this tier. I don't think they've made it that many times. I think they may have made it last week when they played Miami. I don't fully remember. But I got to tell you right now, that's an F if I've ever seen one. They were down 30-3 at one point in this game. The final score, I think it was 37-22, just doesn't do it justice. This team's bad. And here's what I'll say. Here's what I'll say in truth. Justin Fields is not fit to be an NFL quarterback. Not a starter, anyway. He'd make a decent backup. Like, he'd be a great backup to Lamar. He'd be a great backup for Jaden Daniels. What he is not is a starter for any football team, and he is definitely not a football starter for the New York Jets. Dude, this was... Hold on, let me go Justin Fields stuff. Because, I mean, especially, nobody thought they were going to beat the Bills. But this should have been a game where it was like, okay, you should be better. I know he looked good. He had 102 pass rating. Don't care. Do not care about that. That is all garbage time. Do not get suckered in with the statistics of Justin Fields. The reality is, yes, this is so far his best season. I don't know what to tell you. Justin Fields can't get the offense going until way too late in the game. That's number one. Until late in the game when they're already down multiple scores. They can't get the offense going early. Their defense, it's supposed to be good. It's supposed to have players like Gardner and Quinn Williams and Quincy Williams. Terrible. Sauce Gardner has gotten exposed multiple weeks now. Like, he got cooked by George Pickens late in the game against the Cowboys. He got cooked against Tampa. I don't remember Miami game that much, but I don't remember him having a particularly eventful game. Like, it's just not a good team. It's a bad team. It's 0-5. It's pretty much has to be the worst team in the league at this point, considering that they haven't found a way to get a win. That was supposed to be a closer game with the Dallas Cowboys, and it just wasn't. It was, like, the amount of... I went to the Jets-Steelers game week 1. The amount of Jets fans that were so excited for what the prospects of the future could be with Justin Fields and this team, and now, fast forward a month later, they are 0-5. Classic Jets. That's all I have. That's all I have is classic Jets. And now we move on. We move on from the New York Jets. We say goodbye. We say you are going to be relevant for the rest of the year. Because they're having quotes like, oh man, first time for everything. They ain't going 12-5. They aren't beating the Patriots twice. They certainly aren't. If you're going to lose to Miami, how are you going to beat the Bills later? How are you going to beat the Patriots twice? Answer, you're not. You're just not. You're cooked. Actually, for fun, let's see how many wins the Jets can get. Because I'm going to tell you right now, the number is low. Let's see. They play Denver. They play Denver in London. That's an L. They could maybe beat the Panthers. That could be their first win. They could beat the Bengals and the Browns. They might win 3 games in a row. They're not going to win against New England. If Baltimore, I know Baltimore's defense is bad. If Lamar plays, they don't lose that game. That's so sad too that they're 0-5 because honestly, it's not. It's like I could see them still winning like 5 games, but that's the thing. They needed to win a few more before that to have a chance, and it's just it's so bad. It's so atrocious. Like, what a mess. What a mess are. What a. Like, you know those signs where it's like the moms have in their home, it's like, God bless this mess. The Jets will have that hanging over their stadium. But God bless this mess, you know? Speaking of the Cowboys, you know what? You went on the road, you dominated your opponent. That's worth an A. That's worthy of an A. With no CeeDee Lamb, too. George Pickens has been carrying the load. I wish he was still in Pittsburgh, but he's not. He's playing for America's team. It's fine. I'm not mad about it at all. I'm a little mad about it. But they look good. Javonte Williams with a couple TDs. Very exciting. Ooh, you know what was interesting? Sidebar. Javonte Williams, the UNC thing's interesting. The UNC stuff where Drake May has an incredible night against the Bills. UNC doesn't shout it out till this morning Monday, I believe. Because Bill doesn't want them talking anything Patriots related. But Javonte Williams, the second he was scoring against Dallas, gotta shout out Javonte. He had two tutties. But they didn't shout out Drake May after beating the Bills in primetime on Sunday night. That's kind of crazy to have that's such a bitter rivalry with your former team. It's a little shocking. Like I get why Bill would have it, but it's still like Bill just seems like such a publicity stunt guy lately. Like, it doesn't even feel like going to UNC was about building a good program. It's just like, hey, guys, I'm coaching again. Check it out. I'm coaching again, guys. Pretty cool, right? I'm hip now. It's like that scene with Steve Buscemi where he's got the backwards hat and the orange hoodie. He's just like, hey, what's up? What's up, youngsters? I don't remember the exact dialogue, but it gives off so much of that scene and its energy. Got a couple more. Let's keep Bucks get an A, and honestly, this is probably the highest ranked loss, but I'm gonna give Seattle a B. Baker was phenomenal. I think this duel, I think there were only 10 incompletions total between the two quarterbacks, and there's a 38-35 shootout, which was awesome to see between Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield. Bucks got the win. I had Seattle going in. I thought, at home, better defense. I thought they'd be able to pull it out. And they almost did, but unfortunately, a tip pass off a helmet led to Levante David interception, and the Bucks were able to go into Seattle and get the win. Incredible game for Tampa. Baker Mayfield continues what's basically an MVP year. But Sam Darnold put together a very impressive game, and it goes to show Seattle made the right call. 5 weeks in, we know who made the right call. Seattle did. Las Vegas did not. Las Vegas is now stuck with Geno Smith for basically the rest of the year, and Seattle gets not only Sam Darnold at value, because they didn't even overpay him necessarily. He's playing well. And Jackson Smith and Jigba's also having an incredible year at the wide receiver position. And Emeka Egbuka for Tampa. Oh my gosh. What was it, 7 for $163? And a touchdown? Ooh. That kid's gonna be great for years. I think he's gonna be amazing for years to come. They got their replacement for Mike Evans. They're gonna have their wide receiver moving forward. And of course, the Seahawks have their guy to replace DK Metcalf. That's Jackson Smith and Jigba, who again has had a great start to the year. But yeah, give credit to Seattle. I know their defense didn't play well. Their defense is a little banged up. I think it'll get better as they go throughout the year. But they have Sam Darnold, who shows, hey, in a shootout, I can do. He made a mistake towards the end, but I don't think it was entirely on him. It did get deflected at the line. It happens. Both quarterbacks played incredible. Give credit to Baker, give credit to Sam. When good quarterback play happens, it's awesome. Last couple of games, and then of course the matchup between the Chiefs and the Jags is about to start in 10 minutes. So get on your TV and watch ESPN, or there might be another way. I don't know. Maybe there's a Stream Easy you can maybe use. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. There might be. There may or may not be something that can be used. Anyway, Washington Commanders and the Chargers. I'll give Washington a B. I think they won the game. They didn't start the first quarter the way that they probably should have. But after that, after especially that fumble in the red zone by the Chargers, that wasn't good. Chargers were just unable to really get back into the game after that. It's really weird to me, the dynamic in LA, especially with their receivers. Like, Lad McConkey all of a sudden is like wide receiver 3 to Quentin Johnston and old Keenan Allen, which is just, I mean, I don't think Keenan Allen's washed. He's clearly playing fairly well, but it is odd that Lad just kind of gets bumped down to wide receiver 3. It's just such a weird, I wouldn't have expected that, I guess. I wouldn't have expected that off the jump. But as for the Commanders, they played well. They were down Terry McLaurin. They were down Noah Brown. Deebo Samuel had a late touchdown catch. They didn't the score says 27-10, but they didn't really just dominate. They just kind of, after they went down 10-zip, they just never, I guess they kind of did dominate in a way. They scored 27 unanswered points. They went on to win the game. Very impressive stuff from Jaden Daniels and company. They needed a win. Jaden Daniels comes back healthy, ready to roll, and gets it going for the Commanders. As for the Chargers, not a good performance. I think they had 10 penalties in this game. Not good, not disciplined, not buttoned up. From a team that, again, looked like they had won 3 divisional games. They're like, ooh, they were cooking. They had beaten everyone in their division. They looked like they were really finally ready to take that next step. And now you've got Marion Hampton going on I believe, IR. I think he's going to be out the next 4 weeks, which is brutal for fantasy owners, and it's brutal for the Chargers because they already lost Najee Harris. So who's running the ball for them now? That's going to be a critical question to have answered. And, I mean, listen, we'll see where they go moving forward, but that was not a good one to have lost, and now it really feels like, oh, they're on the outside. Now all of a sudden, the Chiefs can just get right back up there with them at 3-2. So all that work that you had done early in the year to build a lead, well, guess what? It all took its 2 weeks, and now it's gone. It's the NFL, baby. Anything happen any given Sunday. And finally, the Buffalo Bills and the New England Patriots. New England deserves this A. New England. Drake, and I was thinking about this when I was thinking about the game. I was like, how did New England win that game? How did the Bills lose? And the reality is Buffalo made some mistakes. But the other reality is, what did New England need for them to win this game? They needed their best players to play well. Their best players right now are Drake May, Stephon Diggs, and Christian Gonzalez. And all 3 of them showed up big on Sunday Night Football for them to get that win over the Buffalo Bills. Sure, the Bills played sloppy, but if neither of those 3 guys, if one of them doesn't step up, Bills go on to probably win that game. Give credit to New England. Mike Vrabel's building a culture. He's building a new regime in New England, and it already looks miles ahead of where it was with Gerard Mayo the previous season. It just looks better. It looks better. It looks cleaner. It looks more disciplined. It looks like a team that can actually win games and is serious about winning games. New England could be that dark horse playoff team. I'm still questioning where they're going to get the rest of their production from. But if Stephon Diggs is showing up like that every week, they're going to be just fine. As for the Bills, it's not a complete failure because you could have won the game, but I have to put it in D. I mean, losing to a division rival that way, where the opportunities were there. The opportunities were there early in the game, and Buffalo just couldn't really capitalize. They struggled in a lot of big moments. They made a couple, really, that red zone interception really was like, oh man, New England's got a real chance now. If they convert that into points, if you're the Bills, you convert that to points, it's a very different game. But by making such a critical error, which they haven't really done all year, that was really the first time where I think they had a multiple turnover game in like 26, 27 games. So when you talk about a team that took that long, went that long without a turnover game, and then it happened right there in a big moment, it will happen. I'm not saying it's not going to happen. But that was a tough one to lose against a division rival. Because right there, if New England loses that game, all of a sudden you create a massive gap. You're 5-0, they're 2-3, right? It just creates such a big gap, so difficult for a team like New England to be able to overcome. But now all of a sudden, they get that win, and the division just gets that much tighter. We'll see what happens. Of course, they'll face off again later this year. But for Buffalo, what could have been a massive lead in the division all of a sudden, it's only a 1-game difference. So we will see what happens as the rest of the season unfolds, as we will get into week 6 starting after today. So that's all I have. That was the ranking. I hope you guys enjoyed. A little active from chat. We had Easton in here. We had Darian Harmon asking where the stream was, if we were going to stream the game. We are not, unfortunately. But the game does start in 4 minutes. It's on ESPN, 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you guys liked what you see, feel free to follow. Feel free to subscribe. Not on Twitch. Don't give me money, but you don't need to give me money. You can, but like, you know, it is what it is, right? I don't got all those perks yet. I don't have the emojis and all the cool features of being sub to on Twitch. I just don't have that. But if you guys are interested, see us on Twitch, see us on YouTube, all that stuff. Make sure you leave a like if you're on YouTube. And also, if you're here, we stream Monday, Tuesday, Thursdays, and Sundays. Sometimes Saturdays. Sometimes even Fridays. I'm just going to be honest. Just keep it notified. Keep a little bell icon. Keep up notifications when we're streaming. And we will be around. I'm glad you guys tuned in. I'm going to go watch the game. Probably crack open a beer. Have some pretzels. I don't know. I could really go for like a pig in a blanket right now. Underrated snack. And very, very easy too. It's just like a little hot dog, a little croissant roll. Y'all have a blessed rest of the week. I will be here tomorrow, hopefully with my co-host Taff. And we will see you guys then. But until next time, I am Philip White. This has been Prime Time with Taff and Phil. And I'll see you guys next time.